The Irish potato famine, when a single fungus nearly destroyed a nation. Picture this. You wake up one morning in September 1845, and the air smells wrong. Not unpleasant exactly, but strange. A sickly sweet odor drifting across your Irish village. You walk to your potato field, the same field that has fed your family for generations, and what you see stops your heart. Yesterday's healthy green plants are now blackened stalks, wilting before your eyes. You dig frantically into the earth, pulling up potato after potato, only to watch them dissolve into a putrid black slime in your hands. In that moment, you're holding your family's death sentence. This was the beginning of An Gorta Mór, the Great Hunger, one of the most catastrophic humanitarian disasters of the 19th century. But here's what makes this tragedy even more haunting. It didn't have to happen. The Irish potato famine killed over 1 million people and forced another 2 million to flee their homeland. Yet Ireland was actually exporting food throughout the entire catastrophe. The perfect storm nobody saw coming. To understand how a modern European nation could experience biblical-scale devastation in the 1840s, you need to know one staggering fact. Nearly 1/3 of Ireland's population of 8 million people depended almost entirely on a single food source. Not just potatoes, but one specific variety called the Irish lumper. Imagine staking your entire civilization on one crop, one variety with zero backup plan. That's exactly what had happened. Why? The answer reveals a system so exploitative it bordered on madness. British colonial policies had pushed Irish tenant farmers onto smaller and smaller plots of land, with rents so high that only the potato, which could feed a family on less than an acre, made survival possible. A laborer and his family could live on 10 pounds of potatoes per day. They ate them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Potatoes were Ireland. The culprit that destroyed this precarious system was Phytophthora infestans, a water mold that likely arrived on ships from North America. This microscopic organism spread with terrifying speed, its spores traveling on the wind, thriving in Ireland's damp climate. But here's the truly chilling part. The blight didn't just strike once. It returned year after year, from 1845 to 1852, each time destroying the harvest with ruthless efficiency. The unthinkable choice: death or exile. By the winter of 1846, Ireland had descended into hell. Contemporary accounts describe scenes that sound like something from the apocalypse. British magistrate Nicholas Cummins wrote of entering a village in Cork where he found cowering wretches hiding in hovels, their faces swollen and ghastly, eyes sunk deep into their skulls, skin hanging off their bones. He discovered 6 people huddled around a fire. 4 were dead, though the others were too weak to move the bodies. The government's response? Here's where the story takes a dark turn that still ignites debate today. Let that sink in. While people starved by the thousands, British officials debated economic theory. Meanwhile, ships loaded with wheat, oats, cattle, pigs, and dairy products sailed out of Irish ports under armed guard, bound for England. In 1847 alone, the worst year of the famine, known as Black 47, Ireland exported over 4,000 vessels of food. Starving families watched food leave their shores while they boiled grass and seaweed to survive. The ships of horror. Those who could scrape together the fare, or whose landlords paid for their passage to get rid of them, faced another nightmare: the coffin ships. These vessels, often decrepit and overcrowded, carried desperate Irish families across the Atlantic. The journey itself claimed tens of thousands of lives. On one ship, the Larch, 158 of 440 passengers died during the voyage. Typhus, dysentery, and cholera swept through the packed holds. Some ships were so disease-ridden that Canadian authorities refused to let them dock, leaving passengers to die within sight of land. Yet they kept coming. Between 1845 and 1855, over 2 million Irish fled their homeland. They scattered across the globe, to America, Canada, Australia, Britain, carrying with them stories of betrayal and loss that would shape Irish identity for generations. The evidence that changed everything. Here's something that will make you question everything about this tragedy. There was no absolute food shortage in Ireland during the famine. Recent historical research has proven that Ireland produced enough food in those years to feed its population several times over. The problem wasn't scarcity, it was distribution, economics, and politics. The problem was a system that valued profit and ideology over human life. The relief efforts that were implemented often made things worse. The British government opened workhouses where people labored for meager rations, breaking rock and building roads to nowhere. Pointless projects designed to make relief earned rather than given. Families were torn apart because workhouses separated men, women, and children. Many chose to die together at home rather than be separated in these Victorian hellholes, the legacy that won't die. The Irish potato famine didn't just kill 1 million people, it killed an entire culture. The Irish language, predominantly spoken in the hardest-hit Western regions, never recovered. Irish traditional music, dance, and folklore suffered irreparable losses. Entire villages were erased from the map, leaving behind haunting ruins that dot the Irish countryside to this day. But perhaps the most profound legacy was psychological. The famine seared itself into the Irish collective memory, creating a diaspora community bound by inherited trauma. It fueled Irish nationalism and the fight for independence. It created a global Irish identity defined partly by ancestral suffering and partly by survival. Today, more than 70 million people worldwide claim Irish ancestry, 10 times Ireland's current population. The famine also taught the world a lesson we're still learning, that hunger is rarely just about food. It's about power, inequality, and whose lives we decide matter. When people today debate immigration, when we watch food crises unfold in developing nations, when we argue about government intervention versus free markets, we're still grappling with the same questions that haunted Ireland in the 1840s. The Irish potato famine stands as a monument to how quickly civilization can collapse when we prioritize systems over people. One fungus, one crop failure, one failure of compassion, and a nation nearly disappeared. The fields are green again in Ireland, and the population has recovered. But those empty villages remain silent witnesses to one of history's most preventable catastrophes.